Welcome back. Welcome back to Ty Sports Picks 24. I'm going to say it again. Ty Sports Picks 24. It's going to be a great day today. We got one preseason game, New England and Philadelphia. I will not give a prediction because they have not said if they're going to play the starters or not, and they tripped us up with that last weekend. So let's stay active and know if the starters are playing. Our worst case scenario, I believe the line is in New England or Philly's a favorite. Let me check really quick, and I'm gonna give you the MLB picks while I'm checking that. So take a look at the MLB picks for today. We got the Minnesota Twins, Seattle Mariners, Los Angeles Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, Baltimore Orioles, Philadelphia Phillies, and Oakland A's. All money lines. Split those up. Don't put them on the same ticket. I did enough games where you should have separate tickets. Maybe do a 3-play, a 2-play, and a 2-play. That's 7 games. Let's make some money today. You know, we're into making money, not losing it. Okay, now they have it -2.5 in New England's favor, but I want you to check out the first quarter, first couple of minutes, see if the starters are playing or not, and just live bet. That's how we're going to do it. Don't let them beat you out your money. The money line is -155, and if you take the spread -2.5, that's -110. Now, maybe you just take the spread, just don't put a lot of money on it because -110, that means they don't know who's going to win because usually a home team gets a field goal advantage, and that's almost a field goal, basically, for being home. So we'll see how that goes. I hope you guys got your MLB picks locked in. If you don't, I'm gonna give you one more second while I pull up the bottom ticker for all the socials. If you'd like to donate to the channel, the Cash App is at the bottom, $TY Rebel 22, and on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, I'm at TY Sports Picks 24. Hope to see you there. Get in the comment section, follow me, interact. A lot of people have been interacting with the shorts. I've been doing season previews. Expect more to be coming. So let's get to some of the football news that's been going on. If you saw my title, you know, to catch your eye, I said, get that camera out of my face. Get that camera out of my face. My camera's kind of acting wild. You know, it's not acting, not looking the way it usually look, but we're going to fight through it. Okay. I know what's going on today. Okay, Miami Hurricanes head coach Mario Cristobal. I don't know if he's watching my channel. My channel's been growing. I don't know if somebody got the word to him. I heard Chalupa Batman say the same thing. I actually got it from him, and it was a great idea. I said, based on the show last week with the writing checks you can't cash, I said that a lot of teams may need to cut down on the media passes and not allow certain media members in the building if they're giving up secrets or if it's just an adversarial relationship. I didn't mean that literally, but I guess he took it and said, hey, I'm going to go with that because he's cut off all media contact inside the building as of now. I don't know if that's going to be permanent. It's probably just going to be to the Florida game, not to let out any secrets. So all these people that have been recording practice, coming to practice and then getting on YouTube or doing their write-ups with the, Miami Herald or the Sun Sentinel, and they're giving up vital information that he doesn't want let out. He's not allowing them to do face-to-face interviews. So everything's being done over Zoom. A lot of the players, people were complaining, are doing one-word answers. Yes, no, no comment. I'm not going to talk about that. I actually like that because I'm coming from the player perspective and also the member of the media perspective. And you got to think, they're trying to keep their secrets and their lips closed because the other team is watching this stuff the same way we're watching. So I understand. And if you're great at your job in media, you'll find something else to talk about. Or you just speak on how they did last year and their anticipation. It's still a lot of things going on because speaking of the Hurricanes, they've been in the news. Local legend or media legend, maybe a former Dolphin, Channing Crowder. He's a Florida Gator alumni, and he didn't have so much kind things to say on AM radio 560. I believe that's ESPN radio. The Joe. He was basically alluding to Cam Ward only came in the transfer portal because he couldn't play at Washington State. The same thing with Damian Martinez, saying that they never did it in the ACC or against an SEC team. He says Miami's always got a hype train every year. He's basically a Gator and a hater. And I mess with the Gators and I mess with the U. I should have did the U first, then the Gators, in that order. But I'm a Florida guy, SEC guy. But hey, you can't really say that because Damian Martinez actually was on the team that blew the Gators out in 2022 in a bowl game. And people say bowl games don't count. Anytime they blow the whistle and put the ball down, it counts. Because I went to Ole Miss. We beat Penn State in the Peach Bowl. I watched that game. The starters were playing, and they were fighting for their life. And that game counts. We were 11-2. We were not 10-2. We were 11-2. Penn State's 10-3 from last year. We are 11-2, and we take that proudly. So don't do the Florida State and Georgia. If you win, it count. If you don't win, and then it don't count. Stop that. Georgia used to do that, but they count that Florida State win. Let's stop doing that. But let's get back to the Hurricanes. Channing was basically alluding to he's not impressed. They got to prove it on the field. He's going to be watching them with an eagle eye. So drop down and get your eagle on then. Pause. You know, we ain't saying it in that way, not in no Nelly way, but if you think you're an eagle, well then fly, eagle, fly and watch the Hurricanes, and they're going to surprise you. But so will the Gators, because he said that Graham Mertz that threw for almost 3,000 yards. He threw for 2,900 yards. He didn't finish the season. This is on a short season because he got hurt halfway through the 11th game. So he played 10 and a half. He had 2,900 yards, 20 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. And Channing Crowder says he doesn't want Graham Mertz, the senior, to start. He wants the freshman DJ Lagway that looked off and on in the spring game to start. Channing Crowder, you're a great personality. I'm not coming after you, but you say some wild things, man. You say some wild things. I'm not going to say you right. I'm not going to say you wrong. One thing I am going to say, we will see on August 31st, because Miami Hurricanes supposedly spent $22 million all together this year on the transfer portal and coaches and different things. That may be on the high end or the low end. I don't know. I know it's a lot of money floating around in Brickell and in Carl Gables. You know, if you don't believe me, take a ride down there. You know, they get money like BMF. They blowing it fast. But anyway, let's move on to another big mouth in the South. Mad Dog of the First Take ESPN show. He went in and took shots at the whole SEC because his colleague Stephen A. Smith was defending Alabama over Georgia. As I said, Alabama over Georgia. Kalen DeBoer is a former national championship coach. He played he coached in the national championship last year, but he's coached national championship teams on a Division II level, and he's won everywhere he's went. Kalen DeBoer's record is outstanding. They brought it up yesterday. It's like 100 and something to 12. I mean, look it up. Kalen DeBoer coaching record. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. Okay. Kalen DeBoer's coaching record. Okay.
104 to 12.
You heard it. 104 to 12.
In 9 seasons as a head coach.
In 9 seasons as a head coach.
A record of 104 to 12, which includes a 25-3 record in his previous stop with the Washington Huskies and 3 NAIA
25-3 at Washington.
Sioux Falls.
He won 3 national championships at Sioux Falls. He has a 12-2 record against top 25 teams in the last 4 years. And people on First Take were doubting Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. I've been watching Alabama's practice because they've been putting it out there. They're not trying to hide nothing. They have nothing to hide. They like come and get it. They the heavyweight champs of the SEC. And until somebody dethrones them, I believe them. I have them going 11-1. If you didn't watch the season preview, still watch it to see how they do in the playoffs and in the SEC championship. Hint, hint. But I believe in Kalen DeBoer. 104 and 12 in 9 years, 25-3 in the last 4 years. Come on now. 12-2 against ranked teams. Okay, so anyway, Mad Dog was trying to make his argument, and he took a couple shots at some teams I got love and respect for. Most importantly, the Ole Miss Rebels. He said that Ole Miss doesn't win any big games. Missouri, they're nobody. Kentucky, they're nobody. Kentucky is a big game we won. We actually beat Kentucky when they were ranked number 7 in 2022. Last year, we beat the number 10 Penn State team in the Peach Bowl. But I'm going to go on. I wrote it down. I took notes. Yeah, I took notes. I'm prepared today. Ole Miss in 2021, we beat the number 13 ranked Arkansas, the number 11 ranked Texas A&M. 22, we beat the number 7 ranked Kentucky. In 23, we beat the number 24 ranked Tulane, number 13 ranked LSU. They had the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and they went 10-3 in the SEC. And we beat the number 10 Penn State team that was 10-2 in the Big Ten. So how do we beat anybody? How do we win big games? Because we don't beat Alabama and Georgia? Come on, man. If that's the case, we'd be national champs, which we might be this year. Stay tuned. But Missouri is also a top team. They just beat Ohio State in the bowl game. I don't want to hear we had opt-outs. Ohio State had a lot of guys playing, a lot of guys that are going to play this year. So how are they ranked number 2 this year with the same guys that just lost that bowl game? And Missouri's also ranked highly. So make up your mind. Make up your mind. It counts. And see, it's cool when you do it, but it's wrong when I do it. You know the rest. Shout out to what his name is, Finesse 2 times. And also donate to the Cash App. Let's grow the channel. $TY Rebel 22. Follow me on all social media at TY Sports Picks 2024. But let's get back to the show. Florida State. Unconquered, baby. They were 13-1 last year. Not 13-0, 13-1, because the games count. If your backups played in the Orange Bowl, then you should have had them ready. I blame that on the coaches. But they got a 5-star. They dropped them to a 4, but they be hating. You're a 5-star, you're a 5-star. Cam Davis, woo! That boy look like he need to get a blood test. I think that's Frank Gore's son. They got a freshman running back. He ain't no joke. Used to let the mic smoke. You know what I'm saying? For all of y'all that know that old rap song, you know what I mean? Yeah, this man ain't no joke. For real. He running people over. You can go look it up. It's on YouTube. Cam Davis showing out. But also, shout out to them Rockets, you know. Central. LaWayne McCoy. Every time they doing punt return drills, I see LaWayne McCoy back there. They trying to squirt water in his face to make it difficult. LaWayne ain't flinching. And they actually have a problem finding a third receiver because they have their number 1 from Alabama, Malik Benson, which is a track star, like a 10-4. So I hope you got fast DBs. They got Ja'Kai Douglas that gets in and out of breaks like no other. He's like their own Restrepo, but he don't have the hands Restrepo have. But if he can catch it, I hope you can catch him because he quick. He's a road runner. But there's been a fight for that third receiver spot. You got LaWayne McCoy and you got Elijah Moore, which is like a 6'4", 6'5" freshman out of DC. These two have been standouts, but I don't think Mike Norvell wants to jump his seniors for a freshman. But you got to win at Florida State. You can't be showing that favoritism, baby. Because I'm hearing good things about the freshmen, but he don't really want to make them starters. But then on the flip side, you got guys like Kentron Portier that's from Dade County. And then you also got, I think, Dorian Williamson. I saw them in the Orange Bowl. I saw all I need to see. Kentron did kind of okay, but Dorian, if I'm saying the name wrong, I think Dorian Williamson, they're good contributors, but their hands are not sure enough. They get open and don't catch the ball too much, and we can't have that. We can't have that. As Florida State, you can't have that. You know, they got to get it together. They got to get it together. I don't know what to tell you. You can't have a group of young wide receivers that's thriving, and you trying to keep them in the wings for next year. You already got an injury to Destin Hill. He was supposed to be a big-time player for you guys this year. But Florida State, you got to let the young pups go. You know, even with the backup quarterbacks, they say not only do they say, but I see that Brock Glenn is looking a lot better. But also, it's interesting to see with Luke Kromenhoek and Travis Jackson, because they got a 5-star and a 4-star quarterback in the same recruiting class this year. You know, it's still a recruit. They just got Jackson do NIL/walk-on, but he's not really a walk-on. Ain't nobody black. Well, I'm not going to say that. I apologize for saying that. But most people from the urban community that got a 4-star quarterback as their son, they not trying to pay for no school. I highly doubt his parents are paying for that. He's getting that NIL that's paying for his school. Florida's doing that with Camardi McLean, so it's perfectly legal. But, yeah, Florida State got a lot of young guys. They even got Sia Bates, and they got Charles Lester at corner, but the only problem with that, they'll probably be rotational guys. They won't be starting like Xavier Lucas at Wisconsin or OJ Frederick at Miami. And I think that's why Miami kind of quieted things with the media too. I don't think they wanted that OJ thing to slip out. They wanted to surprise them, you know, because Miami loves to have tricks up their sleeve. Okay, yeah, but when we get to the wide receivers, Deuce Spain, Kentron Portier, these are all seniors. They're athletic guys, but they just not getting it done. They're not catching the ball. I know they have NFL DBs at Florida State, but still, man, you got to be an NFL receiver. It's too many receivers that are not doing their job. So I think it's time for the young guys to get an opportunity. Young guys like Jaylen Brown, and then the 2 freshmen that I was telling you about, because even Hakeem Williams out of Broward County, out of Stranahan, he was a 5-star. But he's off and on. I do think he's a gamer. I think it'll probably be a combination for that third and fourth receiver spot. It'll be Elijah Moore, McCoy, and Hakeem Williams. I do feel like maybe Portier can play the fifth or sixth role, but man, we got to roll with the guys that are getting it done, because you don't want to take an L because you're trying to show favoritism. I've been on teams like that. You don't want to sacrifice the whole team's success because you like this kid. He's a good guy, and he's good in his school work and everything. But hey, he's not the one that's gonna get the W. You want to always put the team first. That goes for coaches, players. We always put the team first. And I feel like if they see freshmen surpass them, maybe that'll light the fire under them, because we've always heard great things about Kentron Portier. So I don't understand the regression as far as him not catching the ball and different things. Like, that's very strange to me. You would think after being in the program for so long that you would be excited as a senior to get the job done, because it's always a dream of South Florida kids, and any kid when you go to Florida State, Miami, Florida, when you get your opportunity, you want to show out. But yeah, Dorian Williamson and Kentron Portier, I'm not doubting you guys. I'm calling you out. Your seniors, play like seniors, man. You got to catch the ball. And Hakeem Williams, Elijah Moore, Jalen Brown, and LaWayne McCoy. I know you're a freshman and you get an opportunity. You can't act like a freshman. You got to be a senior. You got to grow up. I played as a freshman, and then unfortunately, I didn't really get many opportunities after that because I took it serious, but I just thought I had more time. And sometimes they'll move on. So when you get opportunity, you have to seize the opportunity. But let's move forward to the All-Americans, baby. The All-Americans. I know you guys love that. CBS put out their All-American team. So let's check it out. They have on the first team 12 SEC players in total. On the first, second, and I guess third, they have 21 SEC players All-American. They have 7 Big Ten first team All-American, 16 in total. 4 Big 12 All-Americans, 6 in total. 3 ACC first team All-Americans, 5 in total. When I said the 4 for the Big 12, that's 4 first team All-Americans, but 6 total. The independent, which means Notre Dame and then the other schools that are independent, they got 1 first teamer and then 4 in total All-Americans. And then the Mountain West and Conference USA have like second team or third team All-Americans. So let's go down the list. For the first team All-Americans, they have Georgia quarterback Carson Beck. You got Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State at running back, along with Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. At wide receiver, you have Luther Burden III from Missouri. And at wide receiver, you also have they call him a TTR. His name is Tetaroa McMillan. They just call him T McMillan. Okay, from Arizona, a junior wide receiver. You also have Colston Loveland from Michigan at tight end. A lot of people saying Michigan don't have nothing left. I know they got Donovan Everett. I don't know if he's going to be on the second team, but they got a first team All-American tight end. So quarterback, you can run, you can give it to Donovan. You got an All-American tight end. So there you go. At center, you got Parker Brailsford from Alabama. So Alabama offensive line, roll Tide. Then we got Will Campbell from LSU, go Tigers. We got Kelvin Banks from Texas, hook 'em horns. We got Donovan Jackson from Ohio State, go Buckeyes. Then we got Tate Ratledge from Georgia, go Bulldogs. Let's go to the defensive side. They were still on the first team All-Americans. We got Mason Graham from Michigan, go Blue. So Michigan got something. People saying they're overrated. I already see 2 first team All-Americans. Y'all need to stop that. Then we got James Pierce. Yeah, James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee on the defensive line. Go Vols. Then we got Ashton Gillette from Louisville. I believe he's from either Miami or he's from Broward County. So he's a South Florida guy, and he was a 3-star. So all you guys like, oh, we want the 5 stars. I keep telling y'all, a South Florida 3-star is a 5-star, a 4-star anywhere else. You see, he's first team All-American out of Louisville, and Miami and Florida State got top defensive ends, but the top one that they got on the first team All-American team is a guy from Louisville that Miami could have had. So we got to be careful overlooking guys because of the stars. Okay, Jay Higgins, linebacker, Iowa. He's a redshirt senior. Then we got Harold Perkins Jr., LSU linebacker. He's a junior. Go Tigers. Then we got Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. He's a senior linebacker. Now let's go to the cornerbacks. We got Will Johnson, a junior cornerback from Michigan. Go Blue. So Michigan got something. Okay, we got Travis Hunter, cornerback from Colorado. He's a junior. So go Buffaloes. Then we got Malik Starks from Georgia at safety. He's a junior. Then we got Caleb Downs from Ohio State, a true sophomore. So go Buckeyes. And then at nickelback, we got Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. He is a senior. At kicker, we got Graham Nicholson from Alabama. Go on Roll Tide. I said go Tide. Nah, it's Roll Tide. Then we got Alex Mastromano from Florida State. He's a redshirt senior at punter. So the first team All-American for Florida State. Let's go Noles. Then at kick return, we got Brayon Brown from Kentucky Jr. Then we got Zachariah Branch at punt return, true sophomore out of USC. Then for all purpose, we got Colorado's Travis Hunter. So he's a two-time first team All-American. So now let's go to the second team. We got quarterback Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. Then we got Ashton Gentry from Boise State at running back. Then we got Quinshawn Judkins from Ohio State at running back. We got Emeka Ibuka from Ohio State at wide receiver. We got Tez Johnson from Oregon at wide receiver. We got Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame at tight end. Then we got Cooper Mays from Tennessee at center. We have also on offensive line, we got Tyler Booker from Alabama, Roll Tide. Dylan Fairchild from Georgia. He's a junior, so go Bulldogs. Then we got Emory Jones from LSU. So that's two from LSU, first team and now second team. I believe Alabama had a first team also. So he's an offensive lineman. And then the top out the offensive line, we actually got a small school guy, Clay Webb from Jacksonville State, a redshirt senior on the offensive line, excuse me. So he's probably going to be a draft pick if you're coming from a small school and you're second team All-American preseason. Then we got Abdul Carter from Penn State. He's a junior on the defensive line. We got Nick Scorton from Texas A&M, a junior on the defensive line. Then we got Donnie Walker from Kentucky. He's a junior on the defensive line. Then Barrett Carter Jr., who is a senior linebacker at Clemson. Then we got Dante Lawson, a linebacker that's a redshirt junior at Alabama, Roll Tide. Then we got Nick Martin, Oklahoma State's redshirt junior at linebacker. At cornerback, we got Denzel Burke, Ohio State. I'm sorry about that. Saw the O. Okay, now we got Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame. He's a junior at cornerback. Then we got Dylan Damon. Sorry if I got your name wrong. Dylan Damon from Purdue at safety. He's a sophomore, so way to go as a sophomore, making second team All-American. All right, then we got Malachi Moore from Alabama. He is going to be a senior, and he's a safety that's going to be second team All-American. Then Sebastian Castro from Iowa is going to be at nickelback. For the special teams, we have Andre Borregales from the U. Yeah, that's the first All-American I see we have. Senior kicker. Then at punter, we have Jeremy Crawshaw from Florida Gators. So the state of Florida doing a lot of special teams. That's at punter. Then at kick return, we got Hayden Morrison from Notre Dame. He's a senior. Then we have LaJonte Webster, punt returner from Colorado. So Colorado's special teams on fire. Got Travis Hunter and you got LaJonte Webster. Now, all purpose, we got Zachariah Branch, sophomore, USC. Okay, so they only have the first team and the second team listed. For all you All-Americans, way to go. Congratulations. Kiss your mama, give her a hug for me. You know, I know they all proud of you. I'm proud of you. Now let's move on to the next topic, man. We got talent versus teaching. Now, this is a very touchy topic because, you know, online and with the 24/7s and the on3s and the rivals.coms, they love to sell magazines and website subscriptions. And YouTube, they want you to subscribe. And I don't doubt them. But it's kind of like the NFL draft. It's a lot of hype and a little bit of substance. There was a conversation between Calico Hurd and Greg McElroy, remember I spoke about that interview yesterday. Another thing they touched on was how teams are structured and how they win in big games. Speaking of big games in Ole Miss and Penn State, Mad Dog. When you meet a team that has similar talent to you, what's the difference? The coaching. See, you can beat a team that's not as talented if you have better players, but sometimes they'll still outcoach you. And with the NIL and it getting more and more expensive for players to be paid for, and some players just not want to ride the bench because they want to go somewhere else and start and possibly get into the NFL, because you can go from Toledo. I think they had a first rounder from Toledo. Alabama wanted him. He didn't hop in the portal, and he went first round. He might have been a backup at Alabama. So that was a smart move. Take the short-term sacrifice for the long-term success. But long story short, as a parent, as a recruit, as a fan, I want you guys to give your opinion. What do you think is more important, or are they both important? From my experience, I think it's a mixture of both. It's like parenting. It's nature versus nurture. You have bad parents, but you also have bad kids, but it's a combination. You can't just say, oh, I grew up rough and I turned out good, but did your friends turn out good? It's the same thing in sports. You might have one guy that overcomes bad coaching. But basically, Colin Cowherd was speaking on how Michigan, Alabama, and Washington last year were built on great coaching, and that's why they were able to beat the Texases. They were able to beat the Ohio States, the Oregons, the UGAs that were built more on talent. But when you run into another talented team or even a less talented team, but they have some talent, you should always invest in great coaching. What if you have an injury? What if a guy just doesn't pan out? They get suspended. You don't want to put your whole season relying on 1 or 2 or 3 guys, or even just starting 22. No, because you might have to pull a back out off the bench because your running back is up the middle back, but you need somebody that's going to hit the outside. Or you got some tall receivers, but you need the quick guys that can hit the slant routes. It's all about being smart when you play football and in life in general. That's what I like about Colin Cowherd. I don't like everything he says, but he's a very intelligent guy, and intelligence always wins out in life, unless you're intelligent with an ego. Because if you're smart, but your ego gets the best of you, then you're not using your intelligence. But for the most part, no matter what you do, you always want to rest on your teaching, on your fundamentals. It's great to have talent, but one of the biggest talents you can have is knowing what to do. You know, if we're in a race and you're running in the opposite direction, you're not going to win no matter how fast you are. You know, so in my opinion, it's getting more and more expensive to try to buy players, and then you may not get a return on your investment. But if I have a great defensive scheme or a great offensive scheme, I can plug guys into that. That doesn't mean they can be just untalented, but they could be a 3-star or 4-star, and they could play like a 5-star. Ruben Bain was a 4-star. You showed me a 5-star last year that played as good as Ruben Bain, and he should be on this All-American list. Shame on you, CBS. But hey, they put the guy from Louisville on there. At least we got a down South Florida representative. I got to look up and see where exactly in South Florida that guy's from. I'm curious. I got to give him his credit because I want to touch back on that. But yeah, just think about that. Is talent more important, or is it just the coaching, or the combination of both? So Ashton, okay, so he's from Boca Raton. See, I said Data Brown. I'm sorry about that shot to Palm Beach. So yeah, so Ashton Gillette is from Boca Raton. So he out of Boca. Yeah. But now let's move on to the Dallas Cowboys. A lot going on. As you know, we had Sam Williams, the Ole Miss Rebel. He got hurt. So now we need a defensive end because Michael Parsons is a linebacker / defensive end where he's really supposed to be. So what does Dallas do? When you least expect it, Jerry Jones does something brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. He goes get a steak out of the garbage can. A guy named Carl Lawson that left it for the draft early. He had 9 sacks as a senior at Auburn in 2016. He was All-American, All-SEC, but he dropped to the 4th round. As a rookie, only starting 1 game, but playing in 16, he had 8.5 sacks and was all rookie, all NFL, all rookie. Then he had like an injury late in the 2nd year. Then in his 3rd year in 2019, he came back with 5 sacks and still wasn't a starter. When he finally started in 2020, he had 5.5 sacks. Then he switched teams to the Jets in 22, and he had 7 sacks in 17 games. Then he was hurt again last year, so he didn't have but 5 tackles. He didn't start any games. But if he can stay healthy, he can do as good or if not better than Sam Williams until Sam gets back for later this year or maybe next year. I'm not sure if it's I know it's a season-ending injury. Yeah, but get well, Sam. Let's go Cowboys. But I still will be interested in watching the Cowboys versus Raiders this weekend. It's at 10 o'clock on NFL Network. If you can stay up 10 o'clock p.m., which is probably going to be 9, 8, 7 o'clock Pacific time. So they got to get the people on the West Coast a game, so it's going to be 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 7 o'clock Pacific time on NFL Network, the Cowboys and the Raiders. I'm looking to see who are going to be the wide receivers to step up to help out CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. Also, Dak Prescott's replacement, supposedly, if Dak doesn't get paid. Trey Lance did very, very horrible, but I didn't know. Trey Lance has not even played a lot of preseason football because he was always hurt, and then he only played like half a season when he was in college, even though he won a national championship because he was behind like guys like Carson Wentz and stuff like that. So he has a very talented, basically physical attributes and his physical ability. Sorry, grammatical error. Yeah, he's very physically talented, but it's neck up. And it's not that he's dumb because he was a great student from what I understand in college. It's just understanding football and having experience in making the smart throws. He even showed in that game, even though we ended up losing, he started to make better plays towards the end against the Rams on Sunday at the 4 o'clock game. So it'll be interesting to see how the backup quarterback plays, how the backup receivers play, and also the running backs because Zeke is older. He needs help. Zeke can still cook, but he does need help. Now to our last story, something that makes me proud. Colorado State. I know a lot of Buffalo fans are out there, but Colorado State has an interesting duo. They had a quarterback, Braden Flower, and a wide receiver, Troy Horton. No, his name is Braden Flower, Nicolosai. Okay, Braden Flower Nicolosai. I'm sorry if I messed up your last name. I don't know if it's Italian. Nicolosai. I don't know. Braden Flower. We're going to just call him Braden Flower. Him and Troy were interviewed, and they said that they turned down each $600,000 because they wanted to graduate from Colorado State. They wanted to stay in the same system where they trust their coaches and teammates, and they feel like their greater goal is to win at Colorado State, maybe get an at-large bid to the playoff, win their conference, and go to the NFL. And why go to a big school, risk, not really gelling with the coaches, with the teammates. Maybe they give you their money, maybe they don't give you your money, and you miss out on your long-term goals. So it's up to you guys' opinion, just like the talent versus coaching thing. I think it's a combination. The same thing with the NIL and the transfer portal. I think you should transfer if you don't see any hope at your school. But if you're in a good situation, it may not be grass green on the other side. But that's just my opinion. Do you guys think that Braden Flower, I'm not going to mess up your other last name, so I'm going to just call you Braden Flower. Braden Flower and Troy Horton, do you think these guys made the right decision? I mean, I wouldn't trade Ole Miss for the world. I do wish I did different things when I was at Ole Miss, but I had an opportunity to transfer multiple times. I could have went to Arkansas Tech. I could have went to Texas Southern, full scholarship. I stayed at Ole Miss. I just think my mind state should have changed at Ole Miss. But I did the best I could, with the information that I was given. But these two guys are outstanding for them to be offered $600,000. But I guess they feel like if I'm worth that somewhere else, what am I worth at Colorado State, and what would I be worth at the NFL? Because if they do make it, quarterbacks and wide receivers make big money on the bench, especially quarterbacks. They sneeze $600,000. So and Troy Horton, not to make it a racial thing, but he's an African American young gentleman. So I'm not sure if he comes from a middle class, lower middle class, maybe a rich family. I don't know, but for him to do that, that's not as common in, a lot of the urban communities are just from our culture to turn down the money. So I am proud of him doing that simply because I'm not saying don't get your money, but you always got to think about long-term results versus short-term. Maybe you get $600,000, but now you don't have that Colorado State alumni base. So let's say football doesn't work out. Who's going to help you get a job when you transfer it out of their school? And then your new school, they don't know you. You were only here for a year. So you got to think about networking. You got to think about life after football. That's the same thing with these NFL guys that they'll leave a franchise that's giving them $25 million so they can get $30 million. But this franchise is going to get you advertisements. You're going to have a home that you already have there. People know you in the community. You don't have to relocate your family. When you retire, you can work in the front office versus if you skip from team to team to team, you don't build a rapport. See, college decisions, business decisions are not 4-year decisions, they're 40-year decisions. So let's always look at the long-term outcome. That's the end of the show. Put the picks in. If you guys forgot, let me bring them back up. We got the Twins out of Minnesota, the Minnesota Twins, Seattle Mariners, Los Angeles Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, Baltimore Orioles, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Oakland A's. All money line. Please donate to the cash out down bottom, $TY Rebel 22, so we can grow the channel. And also follow me on all social media, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at TY Sports Picks 24. That's the show for the day. I'm your host, Ty Sports Picks 24. Thank you for joining me.